Leo and the Secret of the Wind Chimes. Good Kid Stories, TV, Episode 11, The Hidden Melody of the Deep Forest. The rescue squad now had 3 members, Leo the Wise, Pip the Clever, and Barnaby the Strong. Guided by the badger, they ventured deeper into the whispering woods. The farther they went, the denser the trees became, and the familiar sounds of the garden faded away, replaced by the mysterious rustle of leaves and the calls of strange birds. They arrived in an area that Barnaby called the Silent Valley. It was a peculiar place. Although many birds flitted through the trees, the air was unusually still. There was no singing, no chirping, only the sound of the wind blowing through the quiet leaves. "What happened here?" Pip whispered, unsettled by the eerie silence. "I'm not sure," Barnaby grumbled. "For years now, the birds in this valley have stopped singing. They just fly around in silence like shadows." Leo felt the melody of harmony from his wind chime back home vibrate faintly, as if it sensed a deep sadness blanketing the area. He decided to investigate. He gently approached a nightingale who was preening her feathers on a branch. Her feathers were a plain, gray-brown color, and her eyes, full of self-doubt, were always looking at the ground. "Hello," Leo said softly. "Why don't you sing? I've heard the nightingale's song is the most beautiful in the forest." The nightingale flinched and quickly backed away. I don't know how to sing," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "My voice is terrible, ugly. No one wants to hear it." Leo was surprised. He looked around and saw that all the other birds wore a similar expression, timid, sad, and full of insecurity. Just then, a shrill, arrogant voice rang out from the highest tree. "That's right! Their voices are just a bunch of out-of-tune chirps. Only my song is perfect." From the canopy, a brilliantly colored starling flew down. His iridescent feathers shimmered with every color, and he puffed out his chest with pride. His name was Sterling. "I am Sterling, the greatest artist in this forest," he declared. "Every day I practice to achieve a clear voice without a single flawed note, and the others, they're just a mess of noise." Sterling began to sing. It was true, his voice was technically flawless. Every high note, every low note was perfect, without a single mistake. But the song was cold and soulless. It was like a perfect machine, lacking any emotion. And then Leo understood the problem. Sterling, with his obsession for perfection, had criticized the songs of all the other birds. His critiques, repeated day after day, had planted seeds of self-doubt in their hearts, making them believe their voices were truly terrible. Gradually, they no longer dared to sing at all. Leo looked at the nightingale cowering on her branch. He remembered the early days of being a guardian, when he too had felt scared and doubted himself. He knew what he had to do. He turned to Sterling and said, "Your song is very technical, but it's missing the most important thing." "What? Missing something?" Sterling squawked angrily. "My voice is flawless." "No," Leo replied. "It's missing a heart. You sing with technique, not with soul. The most beautiful symphony isn't made of one perfect note, but from the harmony of many different sounds." With that, Leo turned to the nightingale. "Friend," he said gently, "don't listen to what others say. Listen to your heart. Sing your sadness, sing your joy, sing who you truly are. That is the most beautiful melody." Encouraged by Leo's sincere words, the nightingale hesitated. She took a deep breath, and then a timid melody rose into the air. Her voice wasn't perfect. A few notes trembled. But it was filled with all her sadness, her loneliness, and a tiny spark of hope. The melody was raw, honest, and heartbreakingly beautiful. The nightingale's song was like a call. One by one, the other birds began to join in. A sparrow sang cheerful, chirping notes. An owl added deep, wise hoots. Each one had a different melody, and no one was perfect, but when combined, they created a symphony full of color and emotion, something Sterling's technical song could never achieve. Sterling was stunned. For the first time, he recognized the emptiness in his own flawless song. He watched his neighbors creating music together, and a single tear rolled down his cheek. The nightingale, now much more confident, flew to Sterling's side. "You are a part of this symphony too," she said. And so, Sterling began to sing, but this time his voice no longer sounded arrogant. It blended with the symphony of the others, making it feel even more complete. From that day on, the Silent Valley was gone, replaced by the Valley of Symphonies. And Leo's team now had a fourth member, a nightingale named Willow, who would bring melody and healing to their journey.